Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights. We'll have a look at the top IPPONS for the Austria Grand Prix. You know, they should just get rid of the word Grand Prix, just call them all Grand Slams. I mean, the level of competition is just as high most of the time. I mean, you got guys like this, Fukuda out there, Tato Grigalashvili. It's a high level competition, so make sure you guys tune into it. Judo Highlights, use my code to get a discount on JUDOTV. And of course, a shout out to the channel members. Thank you for supporting. The Judo Wiki is coming along nicely. Soon I'll have an example technique from competition for all the judo techniques in judo. So hopefully I don't get any names wrong anymore because I'll have a nice reference list to go to. Now after this nice kochigari here by Tushishvili, it's a little bit hard to recognize him with the new hairdo. I have a question for you guys, and especially for anyone who does BJJ or spends a lot of time on the ground. What would you guys do if you were in this situation against Fukuda and this pin that he does? There was a guy in the comments saying it's just a simple mount, this is easy to get out of. Now, while it might look pretty simple, you got to remember people in judo are masters at holding people down. Fukuda has mastered this technique. Everything is incredibly precise and tight. And in my opinion, the only real way to get out of this is to not get there in the first place. I think once you get there, he just knows exactly what to do to lock it up perfectly. You'll see a Funakubo roll later on in this video, and that's another one. Just when you get into that position, when it's all locked up, very hard to escape. But anyway, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about Fukuda's pin and what you would do. Now Tushishvili with the double sleeve, Osoto. It's becoming a common thing now that Abe Hifumi, I mean, he's just doing it to everyone these days. Krasniki getting thrown by Oi. Oi is someone who's just going from level to level. Cadet World Champion, Junior World Champion, and here she is at a senior tournament throwing an Olympic champion with Uchimata in the final for IPPONS. It's amazing stuff. This next one I really liked just because it's a great combination. Left versus right. Blue doesn't really know what he's doing with his legs. He's putting that left foot forward too much. And so Karimov and White started attacking that leg with the Osotogari. You'll see it here. Really shouldn't have that foot forward. Left versus right. And then once he pushed it back, that opened the space for the Uchimata. It's a brilliant combination. Also the Uchimata. A lot of guys do it. Now we had Grigalashvili making an appearance at under 90s. And he's so good at this, controlling both sleeves at the same time, and then going in for that seoinage. So good at mixing in the techniques. Here's another one from him. This time, kind of a less traditional technique. Starts it off with a kosodogake and then turns it into an uranage. Just enough for a wazari, but I thought I would include this one. Now have a look at the grips. He locks it up really tight around the back there. And then going under the armpit on the opposite side. Perfect for kosotogake, perfect for uranage. And so those two throws just tie in together really well. Now this was a great Uchimata at plus 78 by Radic. Now I think a lot of the heavier ladies in her weight class would have fallen to their knee, but she does a hop here. Stays strong in the position, good balance. So that's great to see. It's always good to see when the big heavyweights go over, especially for IPPON. Now this was a wazari, but I just had to include it. Really nice sasai. Interesting grips, two sleeves, one deeper than the other, up by the tricep there. But I think that's why Kentoku was a little bit surprised to just see a sasai kind of come out of nowhere. Now this Taotoshi is absolutely brilliant, especially that left hand, elbow in, pulling down. Really nice Taotoshi there. Now this is a beautiful counter. White goes in for a low sode. And then just puts that leg in the way. And then uses it as he comes up to roll him over for the Uchimata. And that's really difficult to do. Such a low position to roll him over like that for IPPON. Driving Ochigari now by Honda. Great technique to do left versus right. Pushing against the chin. Jabaniashvili. And this one, I think we'll call it a Taniatoshi. Close to an uranage though, but Just watch his left hand on the belt, and you'll see his elbow. First it's going to flare up, which is kind of the fake on the inside, and then it flares all the way down to really just pull down on that belt for the Tani Otoshi. It was an absolutely beautiful technique. Here is Fukuda again. It's a little bit hard to see, but this was an ippon. 2 hands on the opposite lapel, cross grip. Driving, standing, seoinage. Now I did mention in my commentary that a lot of people are trying this turnover, kind of locking up the arm like this. But this time he gets countered. White gets countered here. Kochi makikomi. So it's interesting to see, and it's good to see a counter to that. Here's a beautiful kochi for ippon. Check out the power, kicking that leg, and then putting all that body weight on that side. So if you want to have a look at a kochi, Augusto, he's got a good one. He had a few of those during this competition. Krasniki with the driving osotogari. I think it's almost a page out of Ono Shohei's book there. Really heavy top control. Not a big reap, but a lot of pressure through that leg. Now this is the Funakubo roll by Oi. Now ideally she would have rolled her over there. Doesn't get it. But as I said earlier on, these grips, once you've got these grips on in this position, and you know what to do with them, it's very hard to stop someone pulling you and turning you over into osaikomi. This Uchimata by Honda, really nice, just a wazari, but I thought I would include it. It's always good to see a really nice Uchimata. A little bit of a feint before going in there. Now this next one is also really nice. You don't see it very often, but Uchimata Skashi. This time not really with the legs, but with the hands. Just a lot of control with that sleeve. Pulling her over as she goes in for the technique. And then of course that arm around the back as well. This Kosotogake, it's good to see. Good to see the Japanese borrowing these techniques as well. I definitely think this variation was made popular by a lot of European judoka, especially those from Georgia. So it's good to see the Japanese female team using those techniques as well. Now this is an Ashibarai. Good counter by one of the Esposito brothers. And this was really nice to see in the bronze medal contest. Togo gets countered. And I think it was a little bit silly. He went in here with one hand. And people do it. Hashimoto, he did it for years. But did you ever see Hashimoto get countered like this when he went in for his one-handed sode? I can't think of a time. So you really got to pick your moments. And you really got to be very good with your kuzushi if you're going to be doing techniques like that. And here's a nice seoinage. Doesn't get better than that. Now this one is Okada. And I want you to pay attention to his right hand. So he's looking for a lapel grip up around the neck area. But then when he goes in for this technique, drops it down to the sleeve. So grip and go. I mean, when you start grabbing two sleeves, people kind of feel and understand what you're going to do. So you got to act quick to get those sort of techniques working. This next one, I think I want to call it a Harai Surikomiyashi. And I think I've decided on how I'm going to call the difference between this and a Sasai. If both feet leave the mat, just like this, it's going to be a Harai Surikomiyashi. And then if one foot stays on the mat, it's going to be a Sasai. So just a couple more ippons to go. We do have a little bit of time before the next tournament. Tbilisi Grand Slam will be the 21st of this month. So I got 2 videos coming out. I'm going to do a breakdown. I think I'm going to do Tajima. And one more, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick. So if you want me to think about making another video about someone else, let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, thanks for the support. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.